Hello and welcome to Fishbowl's webinar on scaling with AI, advanced analytics and predictive insights with Fishbowl. We're glad that you're here with us today and look forward to spending time covering some really important topics. To get us started, we wanted to just go over some quick housekeeping items. First off, know that this webinar will be recorded and both the slides and the recording will be sent out to all registrants after the fact. So don't feel like you have to feverishly take notes. All that will be sent to you a little later on. Also, there is a Q&A panel that is available. As you have questions, feel free to drop those into the Q&A. We do have operators standing by to assist on that. And I will share, as you have a question, ask it in real time. We've learned over the years that a lot of times questions get held to the last 3 or 5 minutes. We will have a Q&A section at the end of this, but as you have questions throughout, feel free to drop those in real time, whether it's applicable to the content we're covering right now or even if it's not. We're happy to address those questions starting right away so we can make sure we get you questions answered. If we don't have time during our portion together, we will follow up on those things, but look forward to interacting with you on the Q&A chat. Last but not least, on closed captioning, should you need closed caption services in the Zoom control panel, there's an option to click live transcript and you can enable those. So again, thank you so much for being with us, and let's jump right into things. By way of introduction, my name is Kendrick Hare. I'm the Chief Evangelist here at Fishbowl, and joining me is my good friend Chris Williamson. Chris, do you want to introduce yourself real quick?
Yeah, hey, yeah, I'm with ConverSight. Really excited to be here. Actually used to work at Fishbowl too, so really familiar with both ecosystems and excited to show you what we can help you guys with today.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Sure appreciate you being here and looking forward to all that we'll cover today. On that note, from an agenda standpoint, the first thing that we're going to dive into is a little bit about who Fishbowl is and what we do, where we fit. The next piece is common reporting challenges. I actually just got a note. Is the agenda coming through all right? Is that visible?
Yeah, we can see the agenda now.
All right,
Yeah, you can see.
fantastic. A little bit of a lag there in the screen. So, yeah, once we get through Fishbowl, then we'll go over common reporting and data challenges, how AI improves visibility, what the different tiers look like when you're using Fishbowl and ConverSight together. Chris is going to run us through a live demo, which is really exciting as well. And then that live Q&A that I mentioned already, we'll make sure we spend some time covering that also. Without further ado, we want to jump into things though. And before we start with the who is Fishbowl part, I wanted to just spend a little bit of time asking a few questions. So, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and jump into this first question about what strategies are you currently using to forecast demand in your own business? Is it a spreadsheet like Excel or Google? Do you have safety stock and reorder points or some other min-max process that you run through either through a tool or some other means? Do you use a rolling average? Do you not worry about that today? And it's one of the reasons that you're here. Would love to get your insight. We'll give just a moment for that and then take a look at the responses together. Well, that's running. I have to share, I think the most creative way I've seen, maybe not great, but unique. There was a company that moved over to using Fishbowl, and their prior process had been using a roll of butcher paper, about 15 feet long, and a set of Sharpies. And every day they'd go mark down on the butcher paper on three long tables, kind of where things were at. It was an arduous task, and it didn't really give them much insight. So, if you're using something similar to that, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with everything we've got in store for the demo today. Well, let's go ahead and look at those results and see how that came in, where people are currently gravitating. Um, Perfect. So it looks like, by and large, spreadsheets are the most common way. I think we hear and see a lot of that, especially folks that are not yet fully using tools like Fishbowl, followed by min-max level rolling average and then no forecasting. Hopefully, some of the things we share will help you improve that process and get to a better state But without further ado, let's talk a little bit about the tools that are there. So who is Fishbowl? If you're new to Fishbowl and wondering what it's all about, a couple of highlight items. So we are inventory and manufacturing software for primarily QuickBooks users, but we service other tools as well from a finance standpoint, like Xero or Realtor or Campfire. We also run standalone for those who may just need inventory control or asset management, things like that. But we really focus in on managing everything that happens for a product-based business, from inventory, warehousing, distribution, that can include third-party logistics, it can include asset management, transfer orders, all those types of things, to give you full visibility. The idea and the name behind Fishbowl is born from the concept that you can see what's happening within your business from every angle, like you're looking at it in a fishbowl. And the benefit to that is it builds visibility so that you can make better decisions as operators. We're going to spend a lot of time today talking about that visibility and insights that are provided and now enhanced with AI capabilities as well, to really maximize making the best decisions in your organization with the best data. Another piece of what that looks like is extending to QuickBooks or other finance systems with operational visibility. So you having a single pane of glass to look at your entire business instead of fragmented pieces to the business. Now, the reality is it goes well beyond QuickBooks, and Chris will be talking about that here in a little bit.
Yeah.
But if you've got an operation where you're using Shopify for your e-commerce store and you sell on marketplaces like Amazon or Walmart, and you use QuickBooks for your accounting, and you have some other bespoke tool that's been developed for your company, all of those things can actually be pulled together and work in tandem with Fishbowl and AI Insights. So there's a lot of capabilities and a lot of value that comes in putting everything behind that single pane of glass. It's built to allow you as an owner or operator, as whatever your role may be, to make better decisions that lead to growth and successful outcomes. The whole point and purpose of being able to do something like inventory control or manufacturing isn't to know how many widgets are on the shelf. It's so that you can better serve your customers and have better profitability and efficiency. And really, at the end of the day, Fishbowl is a means to delivering that detail, and in conjunction with ConverSight, we provide that visibility. So, first off, ConverSight is the company that powers Fishbowl AI Insights. If you're using Fishbowl today and either considering or are using AI Insights, know that ConverSight is the engine that's backing that alongside the data set that Fishbowl provides. And there are a whole host of capabilities that really come in. Chris, would love your insights on that, knowing that you spend time with Fishbowl, you're with ConverSight now. What are some of the things that you've seen and how ConverSight complements Fishbowl?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, I mean, back when I was at Fishbowl, companies would want to understand their data more. And so Fishbowl does have reporting and such, but ConverSight was able to come in and provide a gap where companies not only can understand their reporting more, but also generate custom reports, combine data fields, and also have an AI attached to it too that can create reports and such for you as well. And so it definitely helped fill a gap where customers have been asking for a while now. And so it's been fun to see both ecosystems coexist together now.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. So,
Mhm.
yeah, without going too far down that road, let's maybe pivot a little bit and jump into one of the challenges that we're seeing. So combined history, there's a lot of years here of seeing businesses operate, and a lot of the challenges that folks have been running into that, we're hearing more and more about AI and the capabilities. But Chris, maybe walk us through, what is it that breaks down and how do we circumvent that?
I mean, one of the biggest challenges that I've seen with companies adopting AI insights is, I mean, Fishbowl has the data. They're using Fishbowl day to day for their operations, but then they need to get reporting, specific reporting out of Fishbowl. And so there were some that were exporting data into spreadsheets and trying to figure out what to do as far as forecasting what they need to buy and such. I mean, Fishbowl does have like the auto PO, the reorder points. Those can be useful, but as we know now with technology, companies are wanting AI. They're wanting to forecast, have better accuracy. And so that's where AI Insights comes in and helps. It helps with those spreadsheets that we just mentioned, and then it gives you real-time visibility of your inventory, what you need to order, when. It takes an account of what's on hand, what's coming in on purchase orders currently, and then telling you when to buy based off of vendor lead times and such. And so it's really a powerful tool that's going to help you run your business more efficiently, more effectively, and also leaner as well, and keeping control of your cash flow and such too.
Great points. I want to go a little off script. Apologies that
Yeah,
it
no,
wasn't
you're good.
on the docket, but Ryan Woodbury, who was a Fishbowl user for a number of years, is actually on the call with us. He's one of the guys that's helping out on Q&A. And Ryan, you shared something just in our practice session that I thought was really impactful around your own experience with the company that you were with while using Fishbowl as an end user. Would love to have you share that and kind of some of the problems that you saw and solutions to them.
Yeah, thanks, Kendrick. Just real world example. I've been with Fishbowl for over 9 years now, and so these tools weren't available. And the company that it came from was probably similar to a lot of the businesses that are here. I started as the shipping clerk and then rose my way up, and it was just a startup, 7 people. We ended up with about over 30 people, and I was VP of operations, and we would have like a sales and operations planning meeting monthly. And our operation grew from in-house kind of assembly manufacturing to slowly more outsourced, to where we were had pretty much everything outsourced overseas for our manufacturing. And so you can imagine, the supply chain got more complex. And at the time, I had this massive spreadsheet, and it would literally take me 3 days leading up to that meeting every month. And I would compile data from Fishbowl. I would compile it from QuickBooks. I would compile it from my vendors and suppliers. And it was a pretty spreadsheet, but man, it was kind of a pain in the butt. It took a long time, right? And then the hardest part about it was things changed all the time, and we didn't have a really good way to react quickly to that. And so you can imagine, having supplies overseas pulling stuff in container loads. To make up for that, we would, bring stuff in air freight, which was really expensive. We would try to just lean on our suppliers, manufacturers, and try and get them to go faster, because we just didn't have the tools that are available now to small and medium-sized businesses with like the Fishbowl AI Insights. So I think it's a pretty amazing progress in 10 years from where I was to where we are now, and excited to when customers see this and can gravitate it and start getting more efficiency in their operations, because ultimately it just saves you money. It's kind of the cool thing about it. So anyway, that was my story. Thanks, Kendrick.
Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate that. The great insight. We still run into a lot of folks even today that are using similar methods to get that done. So as we kind of turn the corner, I want to share, how AI really improves visibility for businesses. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be expensive. It actually saves time and money and makes life easier for you.
Sure. Thanks, Kendrick. The way I've seen it, because I mean, I was at Fishbowl for 13 years, and coming over to ConverSight, and being able to just see what it can do for Fishbowl customers. So, like over here, you can see it basically. We're looking at historical data, and basically eliminating those data silos, and then we're proactively recommending POs and work orders. Now, in Fishbowl, as your customers know, you have to run the auto reorder point, the auto ROP, to keep up with that demand, where AI Insights is doing that automatically on a daily basis for you. It's also replacing just like those manual spreadsheets, just like Ryan said. And it also allows you to have like a data lake where you can have reporting from, we'll say, from Shopify, Amazon, QuickBooks, Fishbowl. That can all be in one spot here in AI Insights. And that's one thing. When I was at Fishbowl, I used to travel, I used to train. I would get companies to ask me. They would say, "Hey, do you have any AR reporting, AP reporting?" And in Fishbowl, it was all handled. The operations was handled in Fishbowl. Financials was sent over to QuickBooks. But now AI Insights allows reporting from QuickBooks and Fishbowl to be in the same place as well. So that's something that a lot of customers are excited about now too. The other thing that helps with is, I mean, AI. We've seen it, especially the last year and a half, 2 years. We've seen it just getting data more effectively and be able to make decisions quicker. That's the ultimate goal: is to gather data, make a decision quicker with it, and that's exactly what Fishbowl AI Insights is going to do for you.
Love that, Chris. One additional thought here is if you're using Fishbowl but not using AI Insights, you likely have a lot of manual run around and work and detail. If you're not yet using Fishbowl and you're using ConverSight, you consider where Fishbowl can plug in and help with a lot of the data here. Thinking about vendor records and lead times
Yeah,
and
that's a good
details and
point.
bill of materials management and revisions and things that are coming out and the scenario is that you've got to have good data that can be analyzed and then good tools to help make those decisions so you can have proactive insights and AI-driven capabilities. It starts with that foundation of good data, though. So if the system that you're using today doesn't have some of those pieces, if there are holes or gaps or issues, would love to talk to you about how Fishbowl may be able to help on that. If you're using Fishbowl and still feel like you have some holes and gaps and issues, there's a conversation there as well. I encourage you to reach out to your account manager and let's make sure we get those things taken care of. As we'll see here in just a moment with the demo, there's a lot of capability that exists. If you feel like, I'm not realizing that, there's a deeper conversation to be had. So, with this though, I wanted to talk about the last time you had a stock out. This is one of the major issues I've heard over and over again in the last 20 years in inventory and manufacturing. The single worst thing that can occur is not having the product that you need, whether that's a raw material component in a bill of materials or a finished good. It holds up progress. And when you have a stock out, it reverberates through the entire organization and impacts your customer on down. Would love to know, how often are you running into that scenario? Is it, within the last couple of weeks, within the last month, 3, 6, 12 months? Hopefully it's not happening. We didn't put a bullet point down here. I suppose we should have something along the lines of we don't have stockouts, which is awesome. Kudos to you if you've been able to avoid that completely. More often than not, though, I think we see a fair bit of that. Let's look at the results together on stockout timing. Okay, so we're seeing a fair few that are within the last couple of weeks or within the last 30 days. If you're in those 6 to 12 month range, great job managing your inventory and keeping ahead of things. That nothing's ever perfect. Lead times stray and vendors cancel orders and cycle counts need to occur, whatever. But particularly if you're in those first three areas of the last 2 weeks to 3 months. There's some great tools here that can help eliminate those things. And, not that we want to dwell on it too much, but pause for a moment and think about the impact that has whenever you have a stock out. Ryan shared earlier, you having to engage in air freight, which drives costs up. But, the scramble and the fire drill associated with a stock out can be very real. And if those are happening on a frequently recurring basis, it adds a lot of stress into your business that you just don't need. So appreciate your insight on that. Let's talk about how do we get away from those? What are the things that AI Insights provides? What are the new features that have recently become available, and how do we really capitalize on avoiding stockouts and making inventory management I won't say fun, but palatable.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Uh,
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now.
Perfect.
You can see it. Let me know.
It's coming through
You able
great.
to see it?
Yep.
Perfect, perfect, perfect. So what I have open here when I log in for the day into AI Insights. So this is a web-based application. You launch it from Fishbowl, and then it logs in. I have something called the Executive Insights dashboard. So you'll find here that there's several dashboards that are pre-created, but you can also customize and make these dashboards for yourselves and such too. Okay. Um, One thing that I really like is Athena. Okay, Athena gives you the ability to generate storyboards or reports as well. So this is our AI agent where you can come over here and say, hey, give me my top products this year with quantity and and margins. And so Athena will then come in here and start writing a report for you. So as you can see right here, there's a graph. If I wanted to, I can explore this more. I can pin this to a storyboard too, but I can explore this as well. And I can change this also to like a CS table, export this to Excel. But here's some details, something I spun up pretty quickly. Okay. If you really want to get down into the weeds, build a report, we also have something called Explorer. Okay. Explorer allows you to basically choose data sets and basically build your own report as well. Similar to Athena, but you're more controlling and choosing fields to then build a report for yourself. Okay. Um, we also have insights where it provides you daily insights on what's going on within the company. So it's more alerting you, hey, these are your top 10 products, top inventory items. These have all been pre-made for you as well when you log in. Okay. Um, the big thing though, why we're here, we're talking about stockouts and such is the AI insights. We have something called planning and forecasting. Okay. So we have a product monthly forecast storyboard here. What this is looking at is it's looking at the last 2 years of your history. Okay, so if you've been on Fishbowl for 2 years, we'll pull that data from Fishbowl for 2 years, and then basically we're going to forecast what that's going to look like. Okay, we're using AI to help with the forecasting. Now, let's say you've been on Fishbowl for a year, 6 months. And there's data somewhere else, we can ingest that data and help with the forecast and such too. But we find that having 2 years gives you the best predictability for forecast, because comparing year over year is going to allow us basically to look the Athena to look and see if there's any seasonality trends and such too. Okay. And so what you're seeing here is basically I'm back looking at January of 2024. When I come over here to the right, it's then going to show here my forecast. Okay. This is visual, what I'm looking at here. Now, a lot of companies, they have tribal knowledge. They want to be able to adjust the forecast, and that can absolutely be done. I'm going to jump over here to something we call Launchpad, and we have something called Demand Forecast here. What this does is I'm going to go ahead and hit Analyze Data. Now, a couple things here. A lot of companies forecasting similar, but also they have specific ways of doing things. So we help with that, meaning most companies, we're about 85-90% there for companies when it comes to forecasting, but then we can create different scenarios for you based how you're doing forecasting day to day. Okay. I just have a standard scenario here that I'm going with, but right here, it's looking at the data, it's giving scores, and then it's giving a model. Okay. And when I say model here, it's looking at, hey, is there seasonality? Is this a moving average? You can control that narrative as well. But then I can come over here. Let's say I make these changes. I can hit run the forecast, and then it pulls up here what the AI is suggesting. And you can also adjust these too. You can put in percentages. Let's say you've got a new distributor. They're distributing now these dry dates for you. There's going to be a 25% increase in sales now for this item. You can apply that growth factor. You can also come in here and override the quantities and such too. When I save that, that's then going to publish back here to my storyboard here to that monthly forecast here. Okay, so you're more building the foundation with the forecast. It's giving you a story, but we go a step further. You have a forecast, but how do we plan for that forecast? We have something called recommended purchase orders. This is a storyboard, again, a board that we made that the AI's basically it's looking at open purchase orders, so on order inventory coming into you, your vendor's lead time, how often you're using the item or the turnover of the item, and then giving you recommended purchase orders. Okay, this allows you to help with getting rid of your excess inventory so you don't have a high amount of it. So then your cash flows better. And then also it's going to give you a stock out date and a recommended purchase date and recommended PO quantity here as well. Okay, now a lot of companies, when they first start using this, with AI, we want to understand the data. Why is AI telling us to buy this? So right here below, we have more details on why it's recommending it. and basically all the data derived from it. And then up top here is that summary. Okay, but you can see that demand history here. We have safety stock in days, and such too. Okay, so mainly, so what we're doing, Kendrick, is we're giving companies the forecast, but then we're also helping them plan for that forecast. And so if you're manufacturing, it's taking account of the raw materials. We had a customer that had nuts and bolts they use on every bill of material, but they could never stay on top of that inventory. Well, with this forecasting tool, it takes an account of an item that's used in multiple bill of materials, and it helps you plan for that too.
Hey, Chris, just one other additional thought.
Yeah,
If what you're seeing here seems amazing, but also overwhelming, know that Chris and the team offer advisory services to walk through
yeah,
this entire process too. So it's not like you get handed a tool and you've got to go it alone. These are some examples of what's there, and a lot of it's templated out and based on, thousands of other people in the system. We've got great recommendations, but it'll be personalized into what you need as part of that flow.
for sure. Thanks, Kendrick. And part of like building these storyboards or these dashboards is we got Fishbowl customers' feedback, how they want to see it, how they want it to look like, and we build it off of that. So these are pre-built, just like Kendrick said. But then there's configuration that we do on the back end on how you guys will be doing your forecasting, and we'll go through that with you. We'll train you how to use it most effectively, and such too.
Yeah, think about it as more composable visibility to what your business needs relative to the tools that you're using.
For sure, absolutely. There is the also, and I don't have the way to demo it, but we do once we create recommended POs, then we can send purchase orders to Fishbowl as well. So just like that planning app under Launchpad, there is a PO section where then you can basically approve those POs and have it right back to Fishbowl to create the purchase orders for you too.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Chris. Anything
Mhm.
else to show for today?
Yeah, one other thing, we did release recently a marketplace too. So there are add-ons, and I mentioned QuickBooks. So QuickBooks is an add-on, the QuickBooks Online. So, like I mentioned, the financials. A lot of companies want to see financials inside of the AI reporting, or have Fishbowl and financial reporting in the same place. We do have that, and just to give you a glimpse of what that looks like, we have when I was talking to one of the account managers at Fishbowl, hey, is there like a receivables dashboard that we have? And so here's a receivables dashboard from QuickBooks that shows basically here's a past due one to 30 days, 31 to 60 days, 90 days, and such too. And so this got the account managers, your guys' account managers, really excited over at Fishbowl that now we have a solution for customers who want to see reporting, financial reporting, and Fishbowl reporting in the same place.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris. Great call
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
If these are things that you're interested in, and we'll touch on this again in a moment, but reach out to your account manager and they can get you set up with that. One of the next questions inherently that seems to come up in conversation is, this is well and fine. What does it cost? What does it look like? So you want to take us through the packages and what those options are?
Yeah, yeah. So the BI package, that's the package like with Athena, the AI agent, where you can build the reports, the storyboards. It comes with 12 storyboards, storyboards from like revenue, inventory, and then decisions intelligence storyboards. Okay. It also comes with the three users and then the insights as well. And then we have the planning package. Planning package includes everything in the BI package, but then it also then includes that forecasting tool where you then can also go and make changes to the forecast, and then you have the purchase order recommendation as well that I talked about here just a bit ago. And then if you want us to write back purchase orders, work orders back to Fishbowl, we can do that. One thing I failed to mention, I'm realizing here, is we also, just like we do have like the planned purchase orders, we can also, hey, planned work orders is what you need to produce and make too. I forgot to show that, so my apologies. So
It's there though.
yeah,
One of the other things, Chris, I think you can echo this as well, is that we talked to a fair few folks that maybe have AI insights on their account and just aren't taking advantage of it. So that's another
yeah,
element that, if you've purchased Fishbowl, AI Insights could be right there alongside it. And
For sure.
if you're not using that every day in your operations, we'd encourage you to take a second look and leverage that tool that you've already got access to. If you don't have access yet, feel free to reach out to your account manager and dig into that. And on that note, there's a bit of a special offer right now.
Yeah, so that offer, if you buy the BI package, so that would be the $50 a month package, we're also offering 50% off the QuickBooks reporting as well, which is the QuickBooks online, it's $50 a month. If you go desktop, it's $100 a month. And then also, if you buy the planning package, we're going to include the QuickBooks Online for free.
Perfect. So if you're interested in learning more about that,
Yeah,
scan the QR code,
yeah,
book a meeting, or reach out
yeah,
to your account
yeah.
manager. You know, this is not meant to be a sales pitch. Obviously, this is something that's out there that's available. There is a cost associated with it, but the real value is how can you, as an owner or operator, within your organization, find better results. Ryan shared a little bit ago the impact that Luxel has had and the efforts associated with that. And we've got just a few examples of clients that have really made notable increase and change to what's happening in their business, from cost savings to increased sales and a variety of other areas. Chris, I don't know if you want to double click on some of these specific instances. The numbers I think speak for themselves, and uh, how improving data improves outcomes around sales and costing. Would love your thoughts or any specific call
Yeah,
that you think are notable.
yeah. I mean, so we've had several, not even, I mean, we have these customers too, but we have several customers right away. They see the value. Um, and when they first activate it, we had one, and actually not even on here, but Ben, I might need your help speaking to this, but they had a shipment that went wrong, and the AI Insights was able to catch that, and then it saved them about 20 grand. Is that right, Ben? Sorry, I'm sort of calling on you, Ben.
Yeah, it was actually a really cool use case. These guys had just gotten started with AI Insights, and they had actually gotten it with their Fishbowl package, and they had just gotten it started. And they actually worked with a client that uses a very specific SKU, and one of their vendors, they had actually provided their vendor access. They saw the order, saw that it wasn't the right one. They spent $20 to stop the shipment at UPS. They were able to get it back, do the rework to get the right order on the pallet, and got it sent out. The customer didn't know anything happened. Saved them thousands of dollars in shipping costs, and the customer didn't even know. So they saw that, they had that visibility, were able to catch the mistake, get it corrected, and nobody knew any. The customer didn't know any wiser.
Man, don't mean to call you on right there, but I know you need the story a little better than me. So, but for sure, I mean, we're seeing customers that are utilizing it. It's saving them time, money. They're more efficient, and they're also seeing their data better as well.
Yeah, hopefully, as you look at this, there's an opportunity to compare to your own business and needs. And I'd be surprised if anybody on the call didn't want to look at increasing sales and decreasing
Oh yeah,
operational costs and improving inventory.
that's what AI is going to do for you. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it just unlocks. Another one that's not on the slides here, but recently worked with a company that was able to decrease their inventory by about 30%, which was a material difference in cash that was tied up on the shelf. They were so hesitant of being out of stock. And we talked, one of our poll questions was about stockouts because that's a major impact. Well, they went the route of bulking up on stock to ensure that they never have that problem, and it became a hindrance because they were running into scenarios where inventory wasn't turning. They had to expand the space that they were in, increase lease costs, and a whole host of other things. And then you start to deal with inventory that if it's not moving well, if it's perishable, or if other scenarios that it becomes unfavorable, then you're taking a loss on that side. So balancing inventory to have the right amount, not missing sales opportunities, but still increasing those. And if you're in a growth mode, you've got to be able to extend a little more and get the right inventory in, which may feel uncomfortable. So knowing that you've got data behind those decisions to back it can be really powerful. If you're doing anything in manufacturing and changes are occurring, supply chain disruptions and all of those things that we're continually seeing, and then real-time scenarios around costing. I can't count the number of times recently that I've talked with customers who are dealing with the ongoing tariffs thing that's kind of just become a
Wow.
reality to our world,
Yeah.
and now fuel surcharges, and
Yep.
being able to impact that and layer it back in and get true landed cost, know what you've got, all comes along with this journey of getting good data in and then having AI to help make those decisions. So would love to look now at what would be next for your journey in AI. Would it be helpful to get a demo of Fishbowl? Helpful to get a demo of AI Insights, or even a combination of the two, depending on where you're at and what tools you're using. We'll let go for just a moment, and while that's running, maybe a broader note on AI in general and being able to utilize that. There's a lot of hype and uncertainty around where it fits and what it does. And one of the things that I love about AI Insights is we've actually been on this journey together, Fishbowl and ConverSight, since 2018,
Yep.
before AI was even in the news cycles. And the storyboards and the Explorer and even the questions that were built into Athena have been tried and tested by hundreds and thousands of users and experiences over a course of years and years to dial in what really matters most in moving the needle for product-based businesses. So you're gonna find focus on improving purchasing workflows and improving work orders, like Chris mentioned, better visibility into sales, and then expanding that out to QuickBooks, to Shopify, and to Amazon and Walmart and BigCommerce and all of those different places, as well as other tools. If you've got a CRM tool in play, or you use something to help with returns, or whatever that system may be. Not to put you on the spot, Chris, but give us an estimate. How many different connections and tools and capabilities does ConverSight support today?
Uh, there's quite a bit. I don't know. I can't name off the top of my head. I know there's at least 30 or 40. But I mean, there's a tool. If it's over 150, actually, is what I'm seeing here, actually. Um, and we can build it. I mean, if you want something that's not listed, as long as it has an API, we can connect it. Um, and actually thinking out loud here, we had a customer that needed help with commissions as well. I'm going to go down a different path too, Kendrick. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's great.
So they would spend about 60 hours a month trying to calculate commissions. And commissions comes up quite a bit for us, where every company does commissions different. And so we are able to customize a solution for them where now they're no longer spending 60 hours a month doing commissions. It's all automated. And so if you find yourself doing things in spreadsheets, and either data outside of Fishbowl, data from other sources and such. That's what AI Insights is going to help with, and we can automate a lot of it. Um, Another thing that comes to mind when you're forecasting, let's say you get a new SKU, a new product line, and it's similar to another SKU. We can use a similar SKU to help forecast what those sales are going to be for that too, so you can plan for that as well. And so those are some of the things that we're able to help with when it comes to AI Insights.
Perfect. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
guess maybe one thought to add to that, in your next conversation as a business, team leadership meeting, or all hands, or whatever it may look like for your organization, consider all the places where you have manual menial tasks,
Yeah.
or you have disparate data, or you have spreadsheets supplementing things, or some other way that you're kind of gathering information together. Those are
Good
top
thought.
indicators and places where AI can help. And while Conversate may not solve for all of them, anything that's data and visibility related, there's some
Yeah.
great tools to get into. And if even if it's not the perfect solution, it may lead to conversations about what else may be able to help your organization. We'll stop short of suggesting particular tools, but we've seen a lot of pretty creative ways about going about solving problems for businesses. Maybe just one quick anecdotal story. One of our customers who's been using Fishbowl for a long time now was able to connect up to an LLM. They use a Claude or a Chat or something like that, and they've actually built tools that sit alongside. And to them, they were able to really leverage the data that Fishbowl provides for actions and things that are happening, and then to layer on top of that AI insights to see everything that's going on within their business. And so lots of capability to expand beyond what traditional tools have allowed for, and would love to have those conversations and think how might we be able to better service things. So
Yeah.
with that, let's talk a little bit about kind of next steps and actions to take. If you are interested in learning more about anything we've covered here, feel free to scan this QR code and get set up for a demo. If you're an existing Fishbowl customer, reach out to your account manager and they can provide some direction if you need to get AI Insights set up or get that purchased. If you're not yet a Fishbowl customer, we're pretty high level today on inventory and manufacturing management. There's a lot more that we can share and provide a personalized demo for your industry and vertical and specific needs on how that fits in. And if you're here on behalf of a client, if you're an advisory role, consultant of any type, would love to talk to you more about enabling your clients and yourself
Yeah.
with the tools that can help be successful. So with that, I know we've had a slew of questions that have come in. Want to make sure we have some time on those things. Thematically, team, anything that we should call out here as part of our conversation today?
Yeah, Kendrick. MVP layer questions and then security, SOC 1, SOC 2. How do I know my data is secure? Maybe if there could be a little bit of commentary on that.
Yeah, for sure. So I'll start out on the Fishbowl side. The data set, assuming that you're using our hosting or that within your own environment, you're operating under those best practices. That the Fishbowl infrastructure is SOC 2 compliant, and the same would be true for ConverSight as well. So
Yes, you're right.
we've taken all of those procedures and protocols to ensure that data integrity and that the processes are lined out like they need to be, and that SOC reporting availability is there.
Uh, and on that, with AI, like our AI, it's your AI. So it's not like ChatGPT or Claude where AI is shared and it's learning from others and such too. Athena is only learning from you. It's a secure AI. It's only staying in your AI insights.
So your data is not being shared, the learning
Exactly.
models and everything
Hmm.
that go
Yep,
across.
exactly.
So many of the AI tools are taking the greater whole to learn that your agent is yours exclusively and within your tenant, just like your Fishbowl data is
Yep,
exclusively yours.
yep, 100%.
Great question.
Couple
All right.
questions came through as well. Thanks, guys, for that answer, by the way. Couple questions that come through on like sandbox environments, demos, like is there a way to try it before I buy it? Kind of just how do I guess both Fishbowl in general and then AI insights, if I'm evaluating, trying to figure out, does this make sense for me? And Chris, maybe as well on that note, could you just talk about like the importance of cleanliness of data in order to actually have meaningful results from the AI
Yeah.
insights?
Yeah, I mean, we've all heard the terminology garbage in, garbage out. I mean, when I was at Fishbowl, when I trained companies, I would tell that to them. But it's even more important with AI because AI is going to give you data, but it's the data it's going to give you is based off of the data that you feed it. And so if the data is not accurate, then I mean, you can't expect to get accurate data from the AI tool itself. And so definitely having clean data is imperative for the business, and especially for how things are headed these days with AI and how everybody's relying on AI for reporting and such too.
And Kendrick, anything you want to say on like Sandbox? I think
Yeah,
if there was,
good.
I was kind of like seeing like maybe two parts here, like maybe from like, hey, I'm not a Fishbowl customer. Is there a way I can try this before I buy it? And then also I'm an existing Fishbowl customer. Is there a way that is there a Sandbox for AI insights? So kind of two parts there.
Yeah, so on the Fishbowl side, definitely we provide a full functioning sandbox capability. You can even pull your information into that. So to that point that Chris made about good data, being able to see things in real time. We do start with a sandbox company. It's a bicycle company. If you do anything heavy manufacturing or retail or whatever, maybe bicycles may or may not fit your scenario. So we can definitely go deeper than that and just work with one of our team members, and we can get that demo environment set up so you can really do more than kick the tires, get a full scale view of how and where Fishbowl helps. And then on the ConverSight side, similar capabilities. Chris, I don't know if you want to add to that other than we can work with you on providing that.
Yeah. We figure it out. We work with you through your account manager. If it's more of like the BI tool with the Athena and such, we can definitely arrange something. If it's more of like the planning and the automation, we don't usually trial that. What we do is more like a proof of concept, a controlled trial, I guess is the best way to put it. But it's more like, hey, what do you guys need to see? How can we help you? How can we help you make a decision on this and such too is our approach on that. So
One thing that we've got kind of a side chat going on here. Ben from ConverSight points out that AI Insights also helps identify areas where you've got some problems in your data, right? So, and I'm reminded,
mhm.
Kendrick, we had a visit with a customer called AGM. Liz, if you listen to this, shout out to Liz. But she actually, without prompting, also mentioned this to us, like she now had the tools available to see where their processes were bad and then improve those. So not really a question, but more just commentary on the value that you're going to get here, just to find where those problems are and be able to rectify them.
Yeah, this definitely shines a light on what's happening in the organization from a data cleanliness perspective. So if there are bad practices, this can help work through those things to get you to a better state holistically.
On the forecasting, there was a few questions on like, can I pull data from other sources? How deep down the rabbit hole can I go in my modeling? Can I put like what if scenarios? And then what does that write back actually look like? I think somebody asked, well, does the forecasting actually push back to Fishbowl? So maybe just a little bit more commentary on what that forecasting really looks like, and then what gets sent back to Fishbowl.
Yeah, yeah. So the forecasting, so there's about eight different models, eight or nine different models is what it is. And you can control those models. Now we can also control, you can control the narrative and create different scenarios. Now we've had some companies that they forecast in a whole entire different way than what we have put in here. And we can work with you on that and create a scenario to do that. So if you have more details on that, you can send them over to the account manager or send them over to me and I can look into that. But if the data's there, we can work with it, and if we have to do some customization, we can handle that too. As far as like the forecasting itself, that's all done here in AI Insights. Now we're relying on data, Fishbowl data, other data sources. We can bring that in, and then we're providing the forecast. We're then giving recommended purchase orders, and then those recommended purchase orders. There's a button that basically, I apologize, I don't have a way to demo it, but basically you can select the ones that you want to order, and then it pushes a purchase order to Fishbowl is what it does.
And then Chris, somebody asked like, when that gets pushed back, do I see like, oh, this came from ConverSight versus just a PO that I've raised manually in Fishbowl? Is there anything distinguishable there?
So typically, and Ben, I might need your help on this. My apologies if I'm pulling you in again, but we can send it over as a bid request is what we would do. And so your bid request then would need to go get a approval. My other thought is, and Ben, this is me thinking out loud, we could also send it to like a different location group called ConverSight or something that basically you could change it after looking at it if it needs to go to different, just to see where it came from too. So just thinking out loud here.
Yeah, Chris, you kind of nailed it on the head here. So anything that ConverSight would be sending over to Fishbowl from like a PO write back standpoint, it's still going to follow any sort of approval rules that you already have set up in Fishbowl. So there is kind of that check and balance to ensure that, you know, if a team member sends that over to Fishbowl, it's still going to get approved through that same approval process that you're already doing today.
Thanks, Ben.
Ben, while we have you, are there any other thematic questions that you think we ought to touch on? I think I kind of hit the ones that I pulled out.
Yeah, I think the other one that came up in the chat was, and Ryan, I think you kind of covered this one as well, just like the different models that we're using in the forecasting. So we actually do use a number of different models. And if we, you know, I feel like we have two different groups of Fishbowl users, ones that say, you know, just give me the forecast, I'll make a couple adjustments to it. So we have that experience. But if you're somebody that really likes to dig into the stats and why the system is recommending that particular model or why it's forecasting the way that it is, we do have that experience for you as well. So really, we want to keep that open. It's not a black box. You can get in, see exactly, you know, what stats are really driving that forecast to be what it is. But it also gives you an opportunity to play with different models. How is that going to affect what that forecast is going to read? And so, Ryan, I think that also gets back to a few of the kind of what if scenarios, like what if I you know, change this? How does that affect what my purchase order is going to be down the road, or how is this going to affect my manufacturing down the road? So especially if you're starting to think about running promotions or sales on particular products, you know, if I do the sale, how is that going to affect my forecast? Can my production or purchasing keep up with that? So I think we've got a lot of good options there, you know, based on, you know, the questions that we had. So.
The other end of the spectrum, if I'm not a super nerd, then you know, and I need it to be right and accurate and easy to use. Is anything you'd add there?
Yeah, I would say that that's kind of in that other group, right? Hey, just give me the forecasts. I might make a couple adjustments. You know, you don't have to be, and I think this goes to another question that we saw in the Q&A is like, is this business user friendly? You know, ConverSight was really built with the business user in mind. I'm not a very technical person, but like I feel like I could go in and, you know, take a look at that forecast, make a good purchasing decision without necessarily having to be, you know, a data scientist or an Excel wizard, and still run an efficient business.
Well, great call outs. Look like we've got a lot of activity. We're getting through those questions, and we really appreciate you being here with us today. We're going to go ahead and wrap up now on the webinar side. Again, encourage you to reach out and let us know how we can help and support.
Yeah.
Appreciate your time today, Chris and Ben.
Yeah.
That time. Thanks for being with
Thanks,
us.
everyone.
And look forward to talking with you soon. Have a wonderful day,
Yep.
everybody.
Yep.
Happy
We'll
trails.
see you. Thanks, Kendrick. Yep. Bye.